Hello again. So welcome to session 3 of us building our payroll system. So currently we're building on the front-end auth, and let me just start the server. If I log in, this is the user details. And we can assign this to type user. Then we'll pass all those in. This will be a number, string, this will be a string. We'll have type gender type, should be male, female, and other. So in here we'll have gender type, be a string, again, boolean string. So last login IP, I don't think if it's necessary. Won't need that. Won't need that. This will be very important. So we can format this. So then we can pass our user here or null. After that, we'll have our type app state. We'll have them and auth. Then in the auth, we'll have where's the context? Type context type, which will be state and dispatch. So this will be reactive dispatch. We won't have any here. Let's just continue with any for the moment. Then we'll export our context here. Then we won't make this null. So in the state here can be null. And this one also can be null. So that when we get here, we'll have our state as null and dispatch as null. Then we'll have our const actions, which will take in state, which will be vim type, This will be theme type. This will be a theme state. Then so now we should have actions. It's state or null. Then what we return so what we'll have here is to change them. We'll return this as a change them. So for that, we'll return type will be change them, and okay, then initialize just return the theme state. Then we'll have our const auth actions. For the auth actions, we'll have a state. Then these are now the actions that we can set. Meaning, if now we dispatch the login, then we should be able to return should be able to return these actions. So then in the context type, we have here const all actions app actions, which will be will spread both auth actions and theme actions. Then type action types, then this should give us so for us to get auth actions, we'll wrap this here. Oh, okay. We don't really need this. This should be an object, not. So here's now where we state, we pass in the state. Should be auth state or null. Same should go to this. Will be same state. Our default will be dark. We'll go with the system. If something is not passed there, then we'll go with the default format. This so we'll have our initialize them and so our app actions should be pointing to everything here spread. Then now action type will be this. We'll call auth actions. This will be pointing to auth actions. Then we'll have theme actions. Then now we can have type app actions. Then we can export. Can export these types. So next is we take these actions, extract them, put them just above here. Then now in our dispatch, we'll dispatch app action. Okay. Next, we'll export auth them provider. So type provider props, just children. Then we'll pass provider props. So then we'll just break this down in simple way. Okay. So in here we need to get const dispatch, state and dispatch. We'll need to import our useReducer. So we need here to create a reducer function. Const combined we'll have a auth reducer, const them reducer, which will be state, which will be them. Then we so when we initialize, we'll just so if state dot so when we initialize, we just check if the state is there. Otherwise, if it's not there, then we set the payload. And now we can go to const auth reducer, which will be taking our these will take in the state, which is the auth state. Then we'll check in our what's not going on here. Action dot okay, so I need to as const so that not there. So what we return is same actions at login. So if we come back here to okay, so we have type which can either be logout, login. We can have a refresh token. We can refresh token. So we can refresh token. So next here, check is refresh token. Then we need to just return, just update the refresh token. So when we log in, we need to spread the state. Then now we pass our user access token, refresh token, and make it as authenticated. Then So in here we'll have our most combined reducer, which will be this will destructure the auth and the theme that we have separate. Then I will just merge it here. Then now here we'll pass our combined reducer and the initial state, which will be, so we'll import useReducer. Then we'll also pass our actions. Then we'll pass our app actions. We'll return const. So we'll have an initial state here. So the initial state will pass it here. So then we're just done with our context. And just remove this so that we export them. Okay, so we're done with setting up our auth and theme context. So I'll just need to split this a bit. In the context here, I'll have actions, and I'll also have actions. Then we'll have our theme actions. X. We'll have reducers. Theme reducer tsx. Auth reducer tsx. We'll take auth reducer from here, extract and put it in here. From now here we can export. We take theme reducer, we export it. Then we have auth actions. We'll take our auth actions, I mean here. Then now we take our theme actions. What do we have here? We have a types folder. I'll add a types. So states.ts. From here, so then we'll come to our context theme. So we'll take all this, bring them in here. We can import auth actions, theme action. We can rename this to theme auth theme. Auth theme context type. Then I can just extract all of them. So we put that here. We can export. So in the actions here, we can have an index.tsx. Then now is can export then now we can just import app actions. So in the theme actions, we need the theme state export. We export this to export so we can import that auth action user. We rename this to auth user. Okay. Then we can export So then now our reducers, let's fix our reducers. Import then from here we can now just import these ones. Format. So we have no errors. Everything is in place. So in here we'll need to add folder known as layout. And the layout will have context layout.tsx. So RFC context layout. So what will pass here? We'll have our props here. Oops. Just have no. We won't need children. I won't need children. So what will pass here is app of them this provider. Then I will pass our outlet. Yeah. So outlet is now where we'll be exposing our router pages. So now if we come to our router in the index here, we'll wrap this. We'll wrap this, then pass children. Then this will be path to there. Element will be that of our layout. So what will happen is to auth what's the name of the context layout? So app context layout, pass that there. So when now we come to this and inspect, in this set can be null. Okay, so in here Suppose you want this to express. Actually, it's working. Go to login. Should be working. Then now we need to have some pages. We'll add some pages here. So in the pages, I'll add so I have some boilerplate. I will have errors. So error pages will have not found page, not found page. RFC not found page. I'll just import I'll import useRoute error. So this is to get the error. Then we'll also need to get a link. So then I'll just take some boilerplate here. Some boilerplate code and paste in here. So after that, we'll need to add here const error, which will be our useRoute error, then any. Then now we can disable the any here. So for the reset, const reset. So we'll just reload the page. We'll add not found page. Base error. Okay. Not found page base error. Page 6. So base error page. This should be the base error page. Then we can just import all this. So in here, I'll adjust tsx. Okay, so we have the base error page, not found page. The not found page will just have full import. import link from React router DOM so that then we can have our see. We'll have an unauthorized page. We'll also take a boilerplate here. Import this from Lucid. So we'll also import his navigate format. So if we come to our index here, we'll have error element, which will be base error page. So in the app context, we'll wrap it with the let me see. Wrap this with React dot suspense. This is for lazy loading. We'll create a loading component. This have some boilerplate here for loading. So now if we come to our layout, context layout, we'll add our fallback. We'll be pointing to loading. So next these are just okay like that. If we come here to our router, then we can take all this. We lazy load those ones. In the context also, lazy. and just remove that one. So with this, now we are code splitting. Next, in our state provider, if we come to this provider, we need a way to initialize our state that we have base initial. Okay. So we'll have our base initial state. So we'll have our const initial base initialize state, which will be callback. So in the callback, we'll have it as a sync, which will have no dependency. So in here, we'll have our const initial state. So const initial state will be how do we call this? Just above here, const assist state key. This will be pointing to await secure storage dot get. We'll get an item which is the persistent persist we'll use that. So then we'll just say const, so we'll return if initial state then we'll JSON dot parse initial state or return null. So if we return null, then now we OR the null with the initial up state. So this should give us the initial state. So with that, then we can have our use effect. So this use effect will trigger the initialize auth initial state dot. So this should be as app states. This should be auth. Then this should be them. So that will be our dependency array. Afterwards, we'll need to watch. We need to watch for our sync state. So we'll have a const sync state which will be a use callback, then const data state to persist, then we can get our state. Then now we await secure storage dot persist. So we set the auth key and the state to persist. Then this should watch for our state changes, and this should be async. Afterwards, then now we can just run the use effect to sync states, then watch for changes. So then if we come back to the browser, we come here, you'll see when we get to our application, you'll see we already have some data in here. Set. There's some data already put in here. So that means whatever it is that we are having here, okay. So we have our state persisted. So now if we log in, come to login page. So the data we get from login also will persist session ID. We need session ID. So we need to create a hook for handling the auth. Use auth RFC use auth. So for this our const it will be use context, then we'll pass our auth theme context. This should give us so we'll have our actions state actions and dispatch. Dispatch is not nullable, so just say here we have a state actions so in here I'll need to add an workspace. So we'll add JWT decode. I don't know whether I have the JWT decode. Import the decode from JWT decode. Then we need to add on the side. We need to add the dependency of types WT decode. Okay. So const then I'll need to get whether it's auth. So in the auth, okay, so we'll get const how many will the exp this should be use memo. Then you can get time in minutes. So we'll get all this. So let's see whether let's see if we have const auth use auth. So in here we have set. So you can see our state is theme is system, and auth we have user null access token null, refresh token null, and is authenticated as null. So I'll try and I think we should have some consistency here. Login page. Good. Okay. We have types. login.yes. So rename this to login response data. Add X. We export this. Now if we come to okay. This can't be null. provision login schema. And response. Let's have this as it should be string. We can use this type login response data. So then save the message. Let me just confirm the credentials. Okay. Here the login. We now need to set our state. Dispatch actions. You can dispatch actions.login. What do we need to pass here? User. So Then also need token. Refresh. Created 3 but got 2. Const data was and refresh. So in the login part, auth user will take the gender type, pass it response. What? Go to login page. What else don't we have? Yep, so everything looks good. So then we can just log our state and see from the context provider as our context. We can just log our state. Come to the console. You'll see we have state here. So them auth, we have these values. So if now I log in, admin@gmail.com, copy this password. Now I love a new state. Why do we still have refresh token? So actions. This should be access. Okay. Access token, refresh token.